She says, I'll keep this anonymous. I was on birth control when my husband and I got married 12 years ago. I stopped taking it around 2016, and I believe not being on it has slowly changed my attraction to my husband negatively. I don't know how he would react if I told him I think that's part of why he wants to be intimate more than I do. I don't think he would believe that birth control could change who you are attracted to. Any thoughts on how to navigate this challenge? I know this is a loaded question. Yes, it is a loaded question, but it's a really good one because this is real. I've not only heard from girlfriends of mine, but also there have been published studies about how birth control can change the chemistry of the brain such that if you're on birth control, when you get with your partner, when you meet your partner, husband, whatever, and you get off of it, it can change your sexual attractiveness to that person. For example, a 2014 study published in Proceedings of the Royal Society B found that women who chose their partners while on birth control reported lower levels of sexual attraction to their partner after discontinuing the pill, though their overall relationship satisfaction in terms of emotional connection was not necessarily significantly affected, which is good news. But there were other studies too that I could have listed, but this was just one of them. I have many thoughts, but I want to see if you want to start first here.
Yeah, I mean, I can be relatively quick. I think it's totally legit as far as the chemistry being altered through birth control. In our relationship, part 1, you were on birth control. I noticed a significant difference in your behavior.
But I wasn't on birth control when we met, just FYI for the listeners out there.
But like, you could probably, if you could graph our connection in our marriage and see disconnect perfectly aligned with birth control. And so I think there's a legitimate component there. However, if you're in a marriage, which sounds like you are, guaranteed coming down the pipeline is dealing with the seasonal and rotational changes of each other's bodies and the way that each other looks. And at the minimum, you're both getting older. In many cases, your weight's fluctuating, your skin is aging, your guys' hairs are falling out. There's things that just are inevitable. And so every marriage, every relationship has to ride out the I'm not as physically attracted to my partner anymore time frame, era, whatever. And so the relationship, like a marriage, is too massive to be supported by physical attraction alone. That is one spoke on a multiple spoke wheel that we call the relationship. And so what else is not attractive? Is there emotional compatibility that's problematic? Is there a friendship that has been lost? Is there not enough spark? Is there not enough like actual play, masculine and feminine dynamic or play? Take an inventory of all of those other spokes on the wheel. Because I think that there's surely things that you can probably do directly. Like, hey, we should get in shape, or we should get a gym membership and start eating better. But I think it's a really healthy exercise to evaluate all these other components because there may be other deficiencies that are contributing to your attractiveness or to his attractiveness that could be helped or supported, and not just the birth control alone.
Yeah. I think to start, because she says, I don't know if I should have a conversation about this with him. I don't know if he would believe this, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you should even mention it. I don't think you need to have that part of the conversation, because I think it would do more harm than good. And there's no way to actually prove definitively that is what is happening. I believe you. I believe that this is your experience. And obviously I just cited a study that says that this is real. But you can't like present evidence. And, she says, maybe this is one of the reasons why he wants to be intimate more than I do. I think probably like 90% of couples, the guy is like DTF probably every day, and
Sounds
like, it's
about
just
right.
different for men and women.
Yeah.
So, and even with us, we have a very healthy, active sex life. But if we were to like tally the times that like you want it or initiate it versus me, I think it's different. It's just different. Men are more oriented that way. And women need more emotional connection and like physical touch and non-sexual touch and things like that. So like there's part of this that is like, this is probably every couple, And like you said, totally just want to echo and reiterate that like every couple is going to go through this, whether you're on birth control or no, as a part of the equation. Every couple is going to have to go through this at some point in their relationship. So you're not alone. Everyone has to deal with this. So my advice would be kind of the flip-flop of what you said, where you're like, okay, what else is maybe not at its optimal peak in your relationship? That's, I think, important to think about, but also as a potential, I don't know if this is a solution per se, but just a way to start thinking about it differently is make a list of all the things that you are attracted to that maybe isn't necessarily tied to his physical appearance or, pheromones or whatever. Is it his trustworthiness, dependability? Is it his determination in his career? Is it how he fathers your children? Is it how he takes care of you, how he provides for you? Like, make a list of all the things that you are like all in on and attracted to, and read this list over 5 times and tell your brain to find instances, find examples of these attractive things to you in your day, in your everyday life together. And if you tell your brain, if you make your brain designate these as important, your brain will see them more. That would be my, piece of advice. And to just like not be so hard on him or yourself, because this is, again, something that everyone navigates. And, I would bring it up. Like when you notice these things that you are attracted to in him, say it's how hard he works at his job or whatever. Tell him often and show gratitude. When you hear it and see it in your own mind, it's one thing, but when you actually say it to the person, it's another thing. And it makes it have weight in the world and to your partner. And I think too, the next question that we're going to ask, or the next question that we're going to answer, could also contribute to a connection that isn't necessarily tied to raw sexual attraction. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on previous episodes, but man, a proper spark in the relationship dynamic, physical attractiveness comes online like crazy. And so there could be some like deeper components that could actually problem solve some of the physical attractiveness piece. And then, there are cases too where someone really, really prioritizes health and fitness, diet, exercise, and their partner doesn't. And that starts to wear on them. And then they start to see the byproduct of that. And they're like, well, fuck, dude, I'm not physically attracted to them. But it's like more important than that is you're not physically attracted to the fact that they don't prioritize their health. And so that's actually more upstream even than just the fact that you're not attracted to them. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed that, check out right over here for some more fun clips.
Oh, and you're going to want to subscribe.
Bye.